Samsung Infinite Range CombiHob NZ84T9747VK review. Combining a powerful inductive hob and an extractor fan into a wider than normal design. The Samsung Infinite Range CombiHob can provide your kitchen with the clean lines it needs with the power you want. I found this model easy to heat up the oven quickly, and its automatic programs are really helpful. Some of the control panels could be a bit easier for some people to use though. If you meet the required specifications, this is an extremely powerful and versatile induction hob. Despite its wide size, the Samsung NZ84T9747VK doesn't offer any extra space for cookware. It's actually smaller than most hobs. However, if you're looking for a compact cooker, the WiFi might be worth considering. You also need to leave enough space for the extraction devices under your sink, so you won't be losing any cupboard space. There are extraction and recirculating options, so you don't necessarily have to run pipes out to the exterior. There are 9 main cooking modes plus an auto setting for the extractor, but I prefer using the manual mode. On the bottom, there will be an aluminum grease trap, which is raised up from the base of the cooker. That'll look good, but if you want pans to slide easily between the sides of the cooker, then you need a completely flat base. It also makes placing large cooking dishes hard. Inside, there's a ceramic odor filtration system that eliminates smells as you cook. It's great for frying. And a spill tray that catches any liquids. The Samsung NZ84T9747VK has 4 identical burners, each of which features a slide ear for power, ranging from 0 to 9 and delivering up to 2.1 kilowatts per burner. It also has a power boost mode that increases power to 3.7 kilowatts. 4 burners can be set to 9 at the same time. However, 1 burner on the right side and 1 burner on the left side can be operated in power boosting mode at the same time. The remaining 2 burners are limited to setting 5. Still, that's quite flexible, since it means you can quickly heat up 1 burner and then use another burner to continue cooking for another 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the first burner drops down to setting 8, and the second burner goes back to setting 9. You can connect the 2 burners together so they heat up simultaneously. It's best if you use them separately, though, because then you don't need to worry about accidentally turning both burners off at the same time. Each stovetop has its own built-in timer, which turns off the power automatically after the set time. There are also separate timers for each burner that don't connect to any particular one. With its 2 burners and 3 different cook settings, the hob offers a range of features for making sure your meals come out just right every time. For ease of usage, there are multiple buttons to pause the cook cycle. However, I found it difficult to know which one was the right one. If the oven is accidentally turned off, pressing the stop button can also return the oven to its previous setting and resume cooking. In each case, Samsung was faster. On average, it took the Samsung 4 minutes and 15 seconds to reach 70 degrees Celsius, the others needed 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And none of them could get hotter than 80 degrees Celsius. Using my small saucepot, 0.5 liters of water reached 90 degrees Celsius in 1 minute 45 seconds, which was also fast. I've seen faster using an WiFi 84551FB, but that had a smaller burner ideal for cooking small amounts of food, while these 4 burners are identical. After doing some research, I decided to use the manual settings for melting butter instead of using an electric stove. It was too difficult to control the heat with the automatic settings. On this program, the hob kept the melted fat at the right temperature without having to cook it. That was useful because I didn't have to return to a hot stove with burned-on fat residue. By putting the hob into the warm mode, I was able to keep my test tube at 87 degrees Celsius. While the simmer setting kept the temperature hovering between 100 and 110 degrees Celsius, which reduced the volume of the solution by a small but consistent amount. It worked well. I felt the suctions pull air through the ducts. When cooking, fumes from frying and steam from cooking were sucked up by the fans and blown away. To see if the heat was evenly distributed across the pan, I used a thermal imaging camera. Samsung had used traditional round burners here, so they had a small space between the 2 circles, meaning that stirring the food would cause uneven heating. If you don't want the bulk of a cooktop put in your kitchen, then the Samsung Infinite Range CombiHob NZ84T9747VK is a neat option. It has powerful suction which was able to suck up odors, smoky fumes, and steam from my test room. It boils water quickly, has useful automatic functions, and is easy to set up. However, the more advanced features aren't as straightforward to use as they could be. I suggest having the manual nearby when you first start using the hob.